This is Chris McDaniels. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels. And follow me on all my social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, and TikToks. Both of my TikToks will be down there in the description box. Now, I am here to do my WWE Monday Night Raw, January 6th, 2024, 2025 reviews. So here we go discussing about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, they are live from Los Angeles, California, and they are live on Netflix for the first ever time. So yeah, they are live from Netflix. So let's go ahead and start talking about Monday Night Raw. Now, apparently this episode of Raw is supposed to be like 3.5 hours long. I don't know. We're going to see about that. But yeah, we get to the first thing of the night. By the way, they got Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on commentary for Raw. So yeah, Wade Barrett or Joe Tessitore is not there on commentary at least. But yeah, they're not there tonight. So it's Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, and Alicia Taylor is the one for the ring announcing for Raw. But yeah, we kick off the show with a nice thing going on where there's like this whole thing covering up the ring and stuff, and is getting played and stuff with like a hype package pretty much of showing the history of WWE from, when wrestling first started and then got on TV, and then Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Stone Cold, all of them. So yeah, it was showing that stuff, which was pretty cool. Just showing you the history and lineage of WWE right there. So yeah, that was pretty cool right there. And then all of a sudden that goes down, and then we see Triple H. He is inside the ring, and Triple H pretty much welcomes everybody to Monday Night Raw, and he welcomes everybody to Netflix. And then a bunch of pyro goes off right there. So yeah, that's what Triple H was saying there. It was pretty cool. He welcomes everybody to Monday Night Raw and all that stuff, and he says that this is going to be a big era. This is a Netflix era, and he asks everybody, are they ready? So yeah, that's what happened there, and then he introduces the final boss, The Rock, because the lights go out and then The Rock comes out. So yeah, The Rock comes out there, and pretty much, let's say this heel Rock, I guess, is dead. I guess he ain't the final boss no more, because like he gets into the ring, he gives his title to his daughters and stuff, which was at ringside. His mom's there taking pictures, obviously. He gets into the ring, starts talking. He was talking about Cody Rhodes, which Cody Rhodes was in the crowd tonight, and he pretty much acknowledges Cody Rhodes and then says to him like, "Hey, tell Mama Rhodes I said hello." So yeah, that's what he tells him there. Pretty much like killing Heel Rock right there, pretty much, and tells everybody that this is going to be a big night and everything, and it's all thanks to the fans and all that. And yeah, that's what he says there. And he says that he's going to be talking about his cousin Roman Reigns now, because he says that his cousin Roman is the tribal chief, and he is the original tribal chief. And he says that he's going to be watching his matchup very closely tonight, because up next it will be Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, one-on-one in a tribal combat match up next on Monday Night Raw in the first match of the night. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing to happen on Monday Night Raw, we get to the first match of the night. Now it was Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman at ringside versus Solo Sikoa one-on-one in a tribal combat match. Winner of this match will be the tribal chief, and knowing that this is no disqualification and no countouts and stuff. So yeah, that's what this match is all about. Now, I forgot to mention a few things. They got a new ring announce table, so yeah, that was pretty cool. Not only that, the mat for the ring and stuff is black with Netflix logo, Fortnite, and stuff like that, because these sponsorships and all that, and the refs and all that stuff don't even got the striped shirts on Raw apparently. Now it's just like completely black with the WWE logo, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this match. Now this match, it was a really good one. Both of these guys beating the hell out of each other, going back and forth and everything. At one point, they brought in some steel chairs. Roman got hit upside the head a couple of times. He actually got laid out on the announce table at one point. At one point, they had like the steel chair inside the ring, and then we see Solo hit spinning Solo onto Roman Reigns, onto the steel chair. He pins him. 1, 2, Roman barely kicked out at 2. Going back and forth and everything. They had weapons. They brought in steel steps, and Roman got hit upside the head with it. At one point, like, he ain't like bleeding or whatever, but you can see a little gash right there on his forehead. The fans was chanting F you Solo, so you could definitely hear that. I'm glad they ain't censoring it now. That happened before the match, by the way. They had tables and stuff, and then we see Roman at one point hit a power bomb onto Solo through the table. He pinned him. 1, 2, Jacob Fatu takes out the ref, and then Jacob Fatu gets into the ring, starts beating down Roman, and then we see Jacob hit the moonsault onto Roman, and then Solo hits the Samoan Spike onto Roman as well. He pins him. The referee gets back into the ring. He starts counting 1, 2. Roman barely kicked out at 2. Solo gets pissed off at the ref. He picks up the ref and he hits the Samoan Spike onto the ref, taking him out for the rest of the match as well. And then after that, we see Tama Tonga get in the ring as well. And then we see the Bloodline just beating down Roman during this match and everything. And then Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso comes running down. Jey Uso's not with them because, he's preparing for his match later on tonight against Drew McIntyre. So it's Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. They come down there, going at it with the Bloodline and stuff, taking them out. And then we see Jimmy hit the super kick onto Solo, and he's in the corner. And then Sami hits the Helluva kick onto Solo as well. And then Roman hits a spear onto Solo. He's pinning him. A ref had to come running down the ramp. He gets into the ring. He starts counting it. 1, 2. Solo barely kicked out at 2. Roman couldn't believe it. And then we see Sami and Jimmy jumping over the top rope with crossbodies onto Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, taking them out. Roman's inside the ring. He's setting up for the spear again onto Solo. But then all of a sudden, we see Kevin Owens getting into the ring. He kicks Roman in the stomach and he hits the stunner onto Roman Reigns. Solo goes for the pin. 1, 2. Roman barely kicked out at 2. Kevin Owens is all pissed off. He starts beating down Roman and stuff, and then all of a sudden the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes comes running down. He's going at it with Kevin Owens because he saved Roman from getting hit from the package power driver. And then we see Cody hit the Cody Cutter onto Kevin Owens, and then they're outside the ring going at it, and they go through the crowd and they start brawling through the crowd and stuff for the rest of the match as well. So they're all going at it, and then Solo's trying to hit the Samoan Spike onto Roman. Roman ducks it. He hits the ropes, coming back with a spear onto Solo. But then he wasn't done. He goes back to the corner and he hits a third spear onto Solo, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Roman Reigns defeated Solo Sikoa in the Tribal Combat match tonight on Monday Night Raw. That's what happened there. Great match. And then after that match ended, we see Paul Heyman. He gets into the ring. He puts the Ulafala around Roman Reigns' neck. And then all of a sudden we see The Rock come out. The Rock comes out there. He gets into the ring. He's standing face to face with Roman Reigns, staring him down and everything. And then he just hugs him. Yeah, he just hugs Roman. And Roman starts celebrating, throwing up the 1 and everything, and that was it. So, yeah. I guess we didn't get that rivalry, that feud between Rock and Roman, apparently. But I guess Rock ain't here no more after what happened tonight, so that's something. But yeah, other than that, the match was great and stuff. I'll give that match 4.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. Great match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. I liked it. But yeah, later on today, we're going to be seeing CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. That will probably be the main event. Not only that, Travis Scott's supposed to be performing tonight. John Cena's supposed to be on Raw. Logan Paul is supposed to be on here. Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso 1-on-1. Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Championship later on tonight. Penta is supposed to be making his debut tonight. It looks like he'll probably be teaming up with Rey Mysterio to take on the New Day later on tonight. And all of that, we're going to be seeing the final round of the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament as well, with Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship later on tonight. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening tonight on Raw. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing happens on Monday Night Raw. I'll see you guys later. Till then. So, the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw. Now, before we talk about the next segment, they showed a bunch of people that was in the crowd. Wale was in there. A bunch of people from Netflix. We see the War Raiders, LA Knight, Rey Mysterio. We see Carmelo Hayes, Kalani Jordan. A bunch of people from NXT as well. So, yeah, a bunch of people was there on Monday Night Raw. But, yeah, then we get to John Cena. He comes out there, and John Cena starts talking. And, he was talking about how the whole world is now seeing Monday Night Raw for the first ever time, pretty much. He stays down there in South Korea, Brazil, all that. So, yeah, across all other countries that Monday Night Raw is now being seen. So, yeah, that's what he was talking about there. And he was talking about how this is a big night for WWE. So yeah, that's what John Cena was talking about. But then he was talking about his retirement tour because this is the last year we're going to be seeing John Cena in the ring. Now, obviously, he's going to make appearances in WWE down the road and all that stuff. But when it comes to in ring and stuff, yeah, this is going to be the last ever time for a full calendar year and all that. So yeah, he comes out there and he starts talking about that. And he was talking about his last match is going to be in December and all that. And he was talking about how everybody got questions about who's he going to be facing and stuff throughout the year, like Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Gunther, Cody Rhodes. So many names that he could possibly be facing, like who he will be facing at WrestleMania, who will be facing in his last match in December, who will be facing throughout the year. So yeah, that's what John Cena was talking about there. So yeah, that's what Cena was talking about there. But then he was talking about the how everybody wants him to become the 17-time world champion. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. And then he was talking about how that is pretty much impossible. He was talking about how he hasn't won a world title in so many years since 2017, and how he hasn't won a one-on-one match since 2018 and stuff. So yeah, that's what John Cena was talking about there. And he was talking about how the chances are pretty much not happening. But then the fans is like, you know, chanting and stuff, and then Cena was like, hold up. Actually, there is a chance because you gotta play the lottery to win. He says that, the Royal Rumble is coming up, and then he was talking about how he was just going to do his thing, that you can't see me stuff and just leave out. But he says that, to play the lottery, you gotta try to win the lottery, you gotta try to play it. So he says the same thing about the Rumble, and he says that he's going to go into the Royal Rumble match and win that, and then go on to become a 17-time world champion. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there, how that's going to be his chance. So it looks like he has now entered himself into the Royal Rumble match for this year. And he says that that'll be his last Rumble match because there ain't no next year. So yeah, that's what Cena was talking about there. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, good stuff there. And then John Cena left out, and then we see Logan Paul in the crowd and all that, which Cena did mention him as a potential opponent as well and all that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. But up next, it will be the WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley 1-on-1 for the WWE Women's World Championship up next on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So, the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the next match of the night. It was the WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan with Raquel Rodriguez and Dominic Mysterio. The Judgment Day at ringside versus Rhea Ripley 1-on-1 for the WWE Women's World Championship. So yeah, we get to this match, and this match, it was a pretty good one. Both of these women beating the hell out of each other. Rhea starts taking control at one point. She actually hits Riptide onto Liv. She pinned her, but then Liv kicked out at 2, and then it started going back and forth and everything. We see Dominic getting on the ring apron with the title belt, trying to interfere. The referee's distracted, and then Raquel throws a steel chair in right there by Rhea, and Rhea is looking at her close by the ribs going like, what the hell? And then she turns around, she gets hit with Oblivion onto the steel chair. Liv throws the steel chair out. She goes for the pin on Rhea. 1, 2. Rhea barely kicked out at 2. And then we see Liv taking control of this. She drags her to the corner, climbs up the top turnbuckle after she hit the 3 Amigos onto Rhea. And then she hits the frog splash off the top turnbuckle again. She pins her. 1, 2. Rhea barely kicked out at 2 once again. And then Liv was trying to hit Oblivion again onto Rhea, but Rhea held on to the ropes. And then she grabs Liv and then slams her the hell down, picks her up, hits the Riptide onto Liv, and then picks her up again, hitting a third Riptide into this match for the second one in a row, onto Liv, pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Rhea Ripley defeated Liv Morgan tonight in a one-on-one match, and she is the new WWE Women's World Champion. That's what happened there. But then after the match ended, we see Dominic Mysterio. He slides into the ring, and it looks like he's about to attack Rhea, but Rhea turns around, and they got face-to-face, and then we see Dominic open up his arms, try to give Rhea a hug, try and get her to forgive him. She puts down the title, and she looks like she's going in for a hug, but then she hits a low blow onto Dominic, grabs him, and then she hits the Riptide onto Dominic as well, laying him out. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff for the match. And what happened after the match, I'll give it all 4 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was pretty good. But then after the match ended, we see the lights go out and the gongs going off, and it was The Undertaker The Undertaker returns tonight as the American Badass. He is on the motorcycle. He rides around the ring and goes up to Rhea, congratulating her. Both of them raise up their arms and then they stare at each other. And yeah, he shakes her hand. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. Undertaker acknowledging Rhea Ripley right there, which was pretty cool. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. Like I said, for that match and all that stuff, I'll give it 4 stars. That's what I'll give it. But I don't think this rivalry is over yet because of a rematch clause and all that. But yeah, we'll see after tonight. But yeah, then after that, we see the New Day and all them. And I guess that tag team match ain't happening tonight. It'll be happening tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, next Monday. So yeah, that's what's happening there. And then we see the Raw general manager Adam Pearce talking to Bayley backstage. Jackie Redmond comes up and talking about how big of a night tonight is on Raw, and he was like, "Yeah, it is." And then all of a sudden, he gets interrupted by Chad Gable with Brutus Creed and Julius Creed, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Now, American Made. And Chad Gable was talking about how he's getting sick and tired of people, how he, defeated Alpha Academy and got rid of them. And he says that he's getting sick and tired of luchadors as well. And he wants to challenge one next week. And then Adam Pearce is like, you know what? I got the right one in mind. I'll talk to him. So yeah, it looks like maybe next week it'll be Penta versus Chad Gable one-on-one. Looks like that'll be the case now. But yeah, that's what happened there. Good stuff. But yeah, up next it'll be Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso one-on-one up next on Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing happened on Monday Night Raw. Now we get to the next match of the night, but before we talk about that match, we gotta talk about a couple of things. So yeah, we did see the New Day apparently speaking and all that stuff. But apparently, when they were speaking and on an interview and all that with Kathy Kelly earlier, apparently it was on with the ads going on in the U.S. So apparently, with Raw now they got ads going on in the U.S. But in other countries like Canada and all that stuff, they don't have ads, which kind of freaking sucks in my damn opinion. But yeah, that's what's happening there. And apparently, what happened was the New Day was talking about how they were supposed to compete tonight, but they told Triple H that they wasn't going to compete and all that stuff. So yeah, apparently the tag team match with them in it was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen. And same for the Women's Intercontinental Championship final round of the tournament and all that stuff. That match was supposed to happen as well, but it didn't happen tonight. So both of those matches got cut tonight. But yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we finally get to the next match of the night where we see Travis Scott, actually. He comes out there, and instead of performing, he comes out there with Jey Uso. Jey Uso gets into the ring and all that. Drew McIntyre comes out there, but before Drew could get into the ring, he gets hit with the suicide dive by Jey outside of the ring. They're going at it outside of the ring, going back and forth and everything. They finally get back into the ring. The match finally starts. They're going back and forth. Jey hitting a super kick, hitting his spear at one point, reversing Drew's Claymore. He pinned him 1, 2. Drew barely kicked out at 2. Drew hit the Claymore on Jey at one point, pinned him. He barely kicked out at 2. It was just going back and forth. Well, then Drew starts taking control and all that stuff. He's trying to hit the Claymore onto Jey again, but then Jey collapses and stuff. And then Jey's finally getting back up to his feet. Drew tries to hit the Claymore onto Jey. Jey ducks it. So Drew hits the mat, and then that's when Jey pins him with the crucifix pin, pinning him for the 3 count. So yeah, Jey Uso defeated Drew McIntyre tonight in a one-on-one match, and then Jey quickly got out of the ring. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good match for that match. I'll give it 3 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a good one between those two guys. Actually, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. But yeah, that's what happened there. But then after that, we see a promo package from Gunther and stuff. That was pretty cool. Talking about how he's still the ring general and that is a new error and all that, but it's the same error for him. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. And then after that, we get to Kathy Kelly interviewing Fluffy backstage, and then the New Day interrupts him, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, and they was somehow it's their time and all that stuff, and then they get cut off as well. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty funny stuff. But yeah, later on tonight in the main event, it'll be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk one-on-one in the main event of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw and much more. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. I'll see you guys later. Till then. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention a couple more things. Apparently, The Rock will be on NXT tomorrow night, so that is a big surprise. And then we did see Roman Reigns speaking to Paul Heyman while they was walking, and then they was talking about the next thing and all that stuff. And then they walked in to a locker room where there's a WWE 2K25 in pretty much like plate on the door. So yeah, that's the locker room they walked into. We'll see what happens then. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the main event. But before we talk about the main event, we gotta talk about a segment that happened earlier. So yeah, Hulk Hogan, he came out there and he was with Jimmy Hart, and he was pretty much telling everybody that Netflix is teaming up with Raw and all that stuff. Talking about how it's the Mega Tag Team and all that stuff, like him and Macho Man, him and Andre the Giant. And he was pretty much saying that his beer sponsored with WWE and all that. But yeah, then we get to the main event. It was CM Punk versus Seth Rollins 1-on-1. So yeah, we get to this match. And this match, it was a really good one. Both of these guys beating the hell out of each other, slamming each other on the announce table and all. At one point, we see Seth Rollins had to go to sleep on a Punk. Punk got knocked out of the ring. Rollins goes and grabs him, throws him back into the ring. When Rollins is sliding underneath the bottom rope, he gets hit with the curb stomp by Punk. Punk pins him. 1, 2, Rollins barely kicked out at 2. Well, then at one point, Rollins has a second go to sleep onto Punk. He pins him. 1, 2, Punk barely kicks out at 2. Well, then they started going back and forth and everything. At one point, we actually see him on the announce table. Rollins hits a pedigree onto Punk on the announce table, throws him back into the ring, and then he hits a second pedigree onto him. He pins him. 1, 2, Punk barely kicks out at 2 once again. They were at it in the corner. Rollins hits the buckle bomb onto Punk, and then he hits the curb stomp onto him as well. He pins him. 1, 2, Punk puts his foot on the second rope, so he got some rope break. So Rollins couldn't believe it. He gets all upset. He got Punk up there on the top turnbuckle. He goes over there, and by the way, during the match, he did get hit with the go to sleep by Punk, and Punk pinned him, and Rollins kicked out at 2. But then he sets Punk up on the top turnbuckle. He jumps up there, superplexes him off, and he tries to go for the Falcon Zero, but then Punk fights out of it, picks him up on his shoulders, and then he hits to go to sleep onto Rollins. And then Rollins bounces off the ropes when Punk was on his knees, and Rollins falls back onto his shoulders. Punk picks him up. He has to go to sleep again for the third time in this match, but the second time in a row, and then he pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, CM Punk defeated Seth Rollins tonight in a one-on-one match in the main event. For that match, I'll give it 4.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a great match. I would say that was match of the night right there. That was really good stuff. For tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, I'll give it 9.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good show. They cut some stuff like the tournament match and the tag team match and all that, but it was still a good episode overall. I liked it for the most part. But yeah, pretty good episode. Next week's episode of Raw will be on Netflix as well. Definitely can't wait to talk about that. I'll be talking about NXT tomorrow night, so yeah, look out for that. But yeah, that has been my Monday Night Raw reviews. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. It'll all be down there in the description box, and I'll see you guys later for tomorrow night's NXT reviews. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then.